The creation of Chemoglo came about when Stephen, who was a co-founder of the company, came and knocked on my door. It was my third day of work at UNC, and he had this idea of monitoring for hazardous drugs on surfaces and asked if we could work together to come up with a sampling kit and an analytical assay to sample and detect and monitor a wide variety of hazardous drugs. And so I told him that we could certainly do that, but I wasn't sure that there would be exposures there. And so we started doing some initial research studies, and it became very clear that there was very high levels of a whole series of hazardous drugs. And so that really showed that this is a very important area that needs to be monitored and eventually cleaned up. It became very clear that what we needed to develop next was a cleaning product. How can you remove all these hazardous drugs? And so, since the hazardous drugs have different chemical characteristics, some are water soluble, some are organically soluble. If you use water or just alcohol, or even some mixture of that, you're not going to fully remove the drugs. And so then we started to develop a cleaning product, what ended up being HDClean, or hazardous drug clean. And so since we had the ability to detect all these different drugs, we could test different solutions, different towelette materials to optimize that so that we could clean a wide variety of hazardous drugs from surfaces, and every surface we looked at. And so what we found was that hazardous drug clean, or HDClean, was able to decontaminate or fully remove a whole series of hazardous drugs from surfaces. Then what happened is USP 800 came out with recommendations that they wanted the cleaning products to be able to deactivate, decontaminate, and clean. So then we went and took HDClean, and we did a whole series of studies to see if it was able to deactivate about 11 different anti-cancer drugs with a wide variety, again, of chemical characteristics. And we were able to show that HDClean also deactivates all the different drugs that we have tested so far. And so now we know that HDClean is able to deactivate, decontaminate, and clean every drug that we've tested. We really wanted to focus on the employee health, whether that's pharmacists, doctors, or nurses, and be able to detect it if it's there and then fully remove it. And so there's other larger analytical companies that could possibly do this, but we wanted to focus in and specifically just do monitoring of hazardous drugs and the ability to clean these hazardous drugs in the healthcare environment.